Napoli deserve recognition. One of the best teams last summer in the transfer market. De Laurentiis went bold with his decision making, especially when Koulibaly, Mertens, and Insigne just left. Napoli went bold and won the first Scudetto in 33 years, and the first time to reach the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I really believe that De Laurentiis is aiming to win the Champions League. It can be done if they keep players like Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen, Lobotka, Min Jae Kim. These are key players for the successful Napoli, and fullback Matias Oliveira. What a player. They deserve everything that's coming for them. I want to say that.
I think it's absolutely wonderful. 33 years of waiting. And listen, it's not only those that they brought in. They got such a different quality from guys like Lobotka, right? From guys, the supporting cast, if you will, from guys like Zielinski. From a lot of their backup players that came in trying to prove a point, right? Even Chucky Lozano, come on, becoming the first Mexican to win the Scudetto. That's pretty awesome,
That's
right?
awesome.
And I hate saying great things about Mexican players, and I'm probably going to do it again in a little bit. But listen, it's great stuff. But it's so crazy. It is so insane how De Laurentiis either got so incredibly fortunate or is so amazing at making these transfers. He hit on almost 99% of his signings last season. And not only that, they were good enough to win the Scudetto with. Min Jae Kim was in the Chinese Super League not just 2 seasons ago. Chinese Super League in Beijing, okay? Then he went to Fenerbahce, had a great season, and nobody looked at Fenerbahce's season and said, oh, Min Jae Kim is going to be the best on the planet. My goodness, he made Koulibaly, as much as I like Koulibaly, an afterthought in Napoli. And that is really hard to do. And then to hit on a guy that was at Dinamo Batumi, right, honing his skills in his home country of Georgia. I'm talking about Kvaratskhelia here. To pay as little as he did for him, and for him to come in and literally transform defenses in Serie A because nobody knew how to defend the guy. Once again, I don't know if that is absolute just mental acuity and just being so good at your job, or there's an element of luck and fortune to it, which makes you think that once Napoli is done celebrating this, which will probably be next decade, let's be honest, but once they're done celebrating this well-deserved Scudetto, what's next? How do you build this team?
It's Champions League.
I know.
They have to stay with Osimhen. I think the real test of Napoli will be to keep Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia like they kept Mertens and Insigne. If that happens, they literally have a chance to get the Champions League. They really, really do, in my opinion. And I'm in J. Kim too at center back. I'll say the Osimhen signing for Napoli, he was the most expensive signing ever of Napoli. 72 million pounds, highest expectations. And now, I might say he's the best African player in the world. And he's got 23 goals scored and 4 assists in Serie A. He's been fundamental. And De Laurentiis went bold by signing such a bold fee too. 70 million for Napoli, a team that hadn't won the Serie A too. And this season, no doubts in my mind, Victor Osimhen is going to be the MVP of the Serie A. And the young player of the season deserves to go to Kvisha Kvaratskhelia. No doubt. He might be the second, okay? But if they did it like this, Osimhen MVP and youngest player Kvaratskhelia, it would just make sense in my opinion. And Spalletti, one more season. It's been revealed, one more season of Spalletti, and that's very, very important. And 2, Victor Osimhen became the all-time leading African player in one season in Serie A, surpassing Samuel Eto'o. Victor Osimhen did that this season. A legend of Napoli, just like Maradona, just like Hamsik. Osimhen is a legend now of Naples. Wanted to say.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not here to put any sort of negativity on the back of what is a absolutely fundamentally incredible experience, celebration that's going on right in Napoli. But there will be a reversion to the mean for some of these players next season. Okay,
I don't know.
And but what that simply means is that The form, excuse me, my voice just cracked. Wow. I sounded like an 11-year-old boy for a second. The reversion to the mean just simply means that, they can't run as well in form. We've actually gotten a glimpse of it over the last few months, right? Napoli has not been that Napoli that we saw that was just unbeatable for a long period of time and blitzing Liverpool, right, in the Champions League. But when it comes down to it, Oliveira is not going to be, say, a world-class fullback. Okay,
It can be.
I don't think so.
I disagree. There.
Okay, well, we can agree to disagree on that, but there is some issues that he's going to have to work through, and it's going to come down like Osimhen, absolutely world class. Kvaradona, phenomenal first season. Let's see what he does in his second. That's all I have to say about that. He has been absolutely transcendental this season. But let's see what his second season looks like, okay? Because it's a small sample size. Yes, he was running riot in the Russian Super League or whatever it's called, right? He was running riot previous to that, but he was not, scoring 15 goals, assisting 15 goals a season. He was not doing it there. So the small sample size and how much has gone right for Napoli this season is going to make them, obviously, just like AC Milan last season, it's going to make them the most watched Serie A club or the most watched Champions League club heading into this next season, because I do think there will be a reversion to the mean, and I do think that Napoli needs to spend and maybe even needs to let go of one of their stars to be able to reinvest.
I hope.
To be able to reinvest properly in this. And I think if you're smart, you're already looking to pick up a guy like Victor Boniface to back up Osimhen. Right? Oh. Don't bring in Raspadori on loan. Don't bring Simeone on loan, which actually was a stroke of brilliance this season. Bring in Boniface, get him for 15, 20 million from San Gilwaz. He's Nigerian. He's 22, 21 years old. Let him learn from Osimhen for a season and use him as depth. That's one step, right, from here on out, because if he's not leaving this season, he's definitely leaving next season, Osimhen.
I don't know, man. I really don't know what De Laurentiis, this man, he said, I will not sell Osimhen this season. No chance. No chance. And
unless
honestly,
he's given 100 million reasons. Unless he's given 100 million reasons to say yes.
But who did they... It's not who they signed. It's irreplaceable. But Boniface, I like that shot from Real St. Gilloise. I just think he might be going to Brighton. He might be going to Brighton. But I like that shot. I think Napoli, but Matias Oliveira, again, offensively, as a fullback, he's one of my favorite players to watch. In my opinion, I think he'll remain a big-time player. Napoli, I think Min-Jae Kim, I think Lobotka, I think Kvaradona, and Osimhen. These for sure will have to, and Matias Oliveira, they have to stay. Players that they can leave, Lozano, I think he might leave. He's got a market too. And Peter Zielinski. Zielinski's got a market too. A lot of teams need a midfielder like him too. So people, tell us down below. Do you share this same thought as Breton, or do you think that Napoli will go bold in the Champions League next season? That De Laurentiis is giving that vibe. He's giving me that vibe.